Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Of course, it's your girl Erin, and let's just go ahead and jump on into today's video. I'm actually going to be dividing this into two different parts because if you guys read the title of this video, I'm teaming up again with one of my favorite brands ever, Hobbii. You guys know I'm a huge stan or advocate for Hobbii, but this is going to be really fun because Hobbii actually got an official product agreement with Le Tour de France, which is crazy, and they've asked me to be part of this really amazing challenge, this really awesome campaign. So this campaign is actually called the On Tour with Hobbii, and for each stage of this project I actually have a different task or challenge that I need to complete within that 4 days time. For this project, I believe I'm putting together a tote bag. So kind of my challenge is making 7 different types of patches or rectangles that I'm going to be sewing together in the very end to create my own little like Tour de France tote bag. So because I chose the tote bag, the yarn that they sent over for me is of course this Hobbii rainbow yarn. This is like their standard 100% cotton yarn. So I have a bunch of different colors, just kind of depending on different images or projects that I want to put together. Oh my gosh, this is such a struggle. They actually sent over a ton of yarn. I believe they wanted to just give me a lot of color options. In case I didn't mention earlier, I believe this is listed as a number 2 fine type of yarn. So I would definitely say that this is like a sport weight kind of yarn. And in case I didn't mention earlier as well, you guys can definitely follow along on this On Tour with Hobbii challenge. So over on Hobbii's website, I'm probably going to show it here on screen, but they actually have like different challenges for each of the 24 days of this race. So if you guys want to hop on over to Hobbii, crochet with me, knit with me. So now that I've gotten this whole like little spiel out of the way and you guys know what I'm up to, the challenge has actually already started. We are currently on stage 1. All right, so stage 1 actually starts from the 1st of July all the way to the 3rd. So I only have 3 days to make my very first patch. But anyways, the first theme is actually Denmark itself. It says, this year the tour starts in the land of bicycles, which is also the homeland of Hobbii. Besides riding your bike everywhere, Denmark is known for its amazing architectures, fresh berries in the summer, the Little Mermaid, I didn't know that, and so much more. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is crochet some type of like cruiser bike applique and then hand stitch that onto my little rectangle piece. Let's just go ahead and dive on into it. Every single day of this Tour de France race, they actually have free prizes to give out. So if you guys want to post stuff on your Instagram, make sure that you tag Hobbii, take part in the challenges, and you actually have a chance to win free yarn literally every single day. So yeah, I love Hobbii. Just one of the great reasons. They love to support other creators in the community and just kind of give back. They like to foster the creativity as well. So let's see what these hands can come up with. I'll talk to you guys in a couple hours. All right, popping on here really fast to give you a quick little rectangle update. Can you guys tell what I've worked up so far? Yes, it's kind of like a beach cruiser bicycle. So I'm almost done. I'm honestly not too sure how I'm gonna do like little handlebars or anything. And I'm thinking I'm just going to like disguise the front end of the bike with like a basket of flowers or something. So I'll show you guys the final bicycle in just a moment. All right, really quickly before my camera dies, I finished up the rest of my little bicycle. So if you guys couldn't tell, it's supposed to be like a little flower bed or like a little flower basket at the very top of the bicycle. So this is going to wrap up my stage 1 Denmark. But you know what? I'm pretty happy with her. I like this bicycle and I like my little embroidery flowers. So on to stage 2. All right, hello everybody, welcome back. In case you guys couldn't tell, I'm tuning back on here because stage 2 of the On Tour with Hobbii and Le Tour de France has officially commenced. So I have my little computer pulled up right here and I wanted to read off to you what the second stage is for this challenge. So the official theme of stage 2 is French nature. They said that they want me to feel inspired by the French countryside, the long blue coast, the blue water, and the amazing history behind French maritime fashion. So like I said, thankfully they have included like a little lookbook on Pinterest for me to get some ideas on what I'm going to be creating for this second patch or a second rectangle. So I'll probably show you guys a little bit on screen of what they're sending me for this Pinterest board. So I kind of want to do something with like the blue teal water down below, and then up above the water I do love this photo of like all of these really colorful, beautiful buildings. Stage 2, let us begin. All right, quick update intermission. I know it's not really looking like too much, but I did my best to draw out like the little buildings and mark pretty much what building was going to be what color. So for the most part, like I said, I'm just going to follow this like little Excel spreadsheet. I'm going to make my little GraphGAN. Here it is, nothing too spectacular, but this is kind of one of those projects where it's not going to look like much until the very end when I go back in with like the little accessories and everything. So I just got, you know, my little docu-series crime documentary on my computer, and I'm just gonna buckle down and start crocheting. Hi, hello. It's actually been a few days, but I finally finished up my stage 2 patch and I wanted to show it to you guys. So your girl actually put a lot of work into this, and this is what I've come up with. I feel like the basis of this patch started off really strong. As you guys can see here, I do have like all these little buildings, and then when it came to like my stitch work, I don't really know what happened, but I hope that you guys get the gist. This is supposed to be the gorgeous ocean, the water down below, and then we've got all these buildings beach side. So this is my stage 2 patch. And obviously stitch work is not really my forte, but anyways, this is patch number 2. But now that I have this bad boy done and out of the way, it's actually time for stage 3 to commence. So again, I have my computer here with me, but let me go ahead and read off the instructions for stage 3. So the theme of stage 3 is actually French temptations. France is known for so many delicious temptations and amazing cuisine. Whatever French temptation you enjoy the most, let it be the source of your inspiration for the next stage. So again, I have like a little Pinterest board, and most of the items that they're showing me are pretty much just food. So for stage 3, I'm thinking I'm gonna go back to the stage 1 patch where I kind of made these little crochet appliques and then I'll hand stitch them onto the rectangle itself. But the first thing that comes to mind is obviously like a croissant. We all love croissants, so I do want to crochet a croissant applique. And then lastly, if I feel a little bit inspired, I'm gonna give like a little pie or cake a go. I want to try to crochet some type of pie, or like a pie topping. So I've got my big bag of goodies right here. I'm going to start crocheting all of my little food appliques, and I'll meet you guys back here to show you guys the progress of my French temptations theme. All right, a quick update for you guys. I have a few different appliques that I just finished working up. So again, bear in mind, we're not done yet with the patch. It will all come together when I stitch them onto the final patch. But the first little tasty treat that I made, this is supposed to be a donut, And when I go ahead and embroider this onto the patch, I'm gonna go ahead and add some sprinkles to it. So, you know, it's not in its final form yet. We have a tasty little donut. Next up, what I've created, what do you guys think this is? I know it doesn't really look like much, right? But wait for it. The next little tasty treat that I still have to stitch together and create. I wanted to make like a little croissant. So again, I know it doesn't really look like too much right now, but I need to finish just wrapping it up and stitching it into place. And then last but not least, I know it also doesn't look like too much, but I went ahead and created a bunch of different chains. So I'm going to place these very simple like chain pieces over my little applique, and this is soon to become like a little pie or like a cobbler or something. So, and then the patch that I'm going to be placing all of like my little treats onto, I just kind of decided to work with the French flag colors because it's supposed to be the French Temptation. So I've got my blue stripe section. I'm going to go ahead and transition to white, and then of course to red, and then go in and attach them all to my patch. So I'll check back in with you guys when I have the more finished patch. Hello, it's time to wrap up stage 3 and show you guys my little creation here for the French Temptations. Now, this is probably the patch that I'm most proud of, and this is what I've created for my French Temptations. So first and foremost, right up here, I do have a little like cherry pie, or maybe like a cherry cobbler, however you would like to say it. I decided to add a slight ruffle hem to this little applique just to kind of mimic like a pie crust and how it's kind of lumpy on the outer edges. So moving on right here, I do have a gorgeous sprinkle donut. This is actually a genuine temptation for me on the weekly. I decided to add a little bit of like sprinkles in the round here just to kind of mimic that sprinkled donut. And then last but not least, I know you guys are going to absolutely laugh at me, but this is actually a croissant, okay? I did my absolute best to make my own croissant applique, and Jordan called it a banana. So this is stage 3. I'm actually really proud of these appliques. I think it's probably the most pretty patch I have so far. So as you guys probably guessed, at the moment, it is time for stage 4. Now, the theme for stage 4 is actually rest day. How do you recharge and relax the best? Is it by reading a book, going for a long walk, listening to a podcast, or enjoying a meal with your loved ones? Whatever it is, let it be the source of your inspiration for the next stage. So I'm gonna take this theme quite literally. At the moment, I have several different things that I need to finish up this weekend. So I do want to take this time and make my 4th patch very relaxing, very therapeutic, and almost kind of like repetitive. But I'm kind of leaning towards a bobble stitch. It's very repetitive and it's actually very therapeutic. If you guys have watched previous videos, I did make a crochet pillow that was like entirely bobble stitch. I'm gonna have a little bit more pizzazz, add in a little bit of color so it's not just all one color and a little bit too plain. So let's get creative, let's get a little bit colorful, and I'm gonna kick back here on my bed. I'm gonna throw on some NCIS on Netflix, and I'm gonna take a few hours to just relax and recharge. I'm really excited to show you guys my 4th patch. It's been a couple hours. It's actually taking me a little bit longer than I expected, but granted, I did get this patch done the fastest. So this is definitely like a little rest day for me. As I told you guys about earlier, I just wanted to create a more simple basic patch. And as you guys can see here, I did add some very colorful baubles to my entire little patch here. I feel like this patch in itself is a really good summation of just all the colors and just all of the textures and everything that I have so far with my bag. So here is again stage 4 rest day patch. I really like this. Stage number 1, this is my bicycle with a little flower basket. Stage 2 patch is my rough baby, but here she is. This is kind of like the French countryside. I've got my buildings with my ocean. Stage 3 again is my French Temptations. Probably my favorite patch so far. I just freaking love this little pie stitch right there. Stage 4 is my rest day patch with a little pop of color, texture, and creativity. So that is going to wrap up part 1 of my on tour with Hobbii. Tune in later on to see the final bag come together, and I will be talking to you all very soon. I love you all so much. Take care. Bye.